I am very excited for this conversation, this reality riff between me and a friend of mine, the great Jose Muñoz. I said it right the first time.
Muñoz.
Did you hear me the first?
Yes.
I did it well that time. But Jose and I spoke last year and had a little conversation. It was really our first meeting for this particular time stream, and we've been working with each other ever since, or ever, all the different senses. And I was, someone, I think it was Nicole, WhatsApped me while I was in Russia and said, Jose is giving teachings at the Immense Grace Weekend. And I said, oh, really? I didn't talk to Jose. I don't remember saying anything to Jose about that. She said, well, he said that you guys made an agreement about it in the future. And I was like, good to know. All right, let's slate that. So welcome, Jose, and really always honored to spend time with you. I want to talk a little bit about the geomancy of time and how we all can become timekeepers, and 2020 and the portals and everything that and anything that you feel we need to remember and also bring forward from the future. So welcome.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to be with my brothers and sisters in this new era of the 26,000 years that we're coming into. We're actually descending into balance, believe it or not, through this chaotic beauty that we are all co-creating with our choices we make every day. But going back to making the agreement in the future, the exact day was December 21st of the year 2199. We were just sitting around the fire, reminiscent. Oh, remember what all the shit we had to go through for us to be smiling now that we have intergalactic balance, unity, joy, peace, and harmony. So that's when we made the agreements and everything that we have done, not just us, but all our sisters and brothers who are seeing and listening to this through the new technology that we're co-creating.
For those listening and for everyone in the room, maybe a brief hitchhiker's guide to quantum time space.
I'm gonna jump on the one that is that simple. Earlier you said the greatest things in the universe that we can do are that simple. Sending ourselves to our future and seeing it exactly how we want it. This is how we do it, and it's that simple. So we're going to emphasize that. It's that simple, and for those new ones in the scene of galactic maneuvering between space and time, dream world, spiritual world, 3D world, 4D world, 5D world, any D world, we are here together to assist the rest of humanity to descend into the balance. We are going into the infinity year, the year number 8 of the next 26,000 years, where we help each other and we help ourselves more than anything. Because as we know, before we can help anybody, we have to be in optimal mental, spiritual, and physical health. And so it's that simple. Let's send all of us to the future. What year do you want to be in? Just close your eyes in an instant. 5 seconds, you're there. And see how you want it. It's just like that. You created your future, so what is it that we want to create? And that's, to my perception as a timekeeper for the people who I was born with in this planet, is our thoughts create our reality. So what do you just think about your future is going to be? we, in this space and time with Guru Jagat, how we co-created a portal, we are in what we call a manifestation portal. We are in the almost epic time and space to manifest for the future. Take advantage of that. Be generous to yourself. Be kind to ourselves. Be kind to the universe, because it's not just us.
Then we have to hold the pose, because sometimes it takes the whatever time frequency, which this stuff it's getting faster now. But then we have to have the wherewithal to understand that it's that simple.
It's that simple. I'll give you a quick example that we can actually grasp in 3D. 20 years ago, I was still writing letters to Africa to friends of mine and the bush people. And it took 3 months for them to get into the mountain. But somehow we got satellites and satellite phones that they can carry on their back. So now we can do it in a click. So that's how fast we have become. We can accomplish so much more than ever. And it's getting faster. So this is where showing unity between lineages, the way we do it. This is so ancient. The Kundalini ancestry just goes so beyond my puny 66,000 years of memory, because that's what I carry. It goes beyond space and time. So when you bring that together and two humans can have a conversation about this, the benefit is going to ripple for a long, long time.
Yeah, and that's as well what we're doing here. And that's why, Jose, you're the only person who, at least in the first time we met, in this time stream, Jose said this is a portal to Lhasa. So he knew right away, because portal makers recognize portal makers. I mean, it's easy to see each other on the street, like, oh yeah. So he recognized that right away. But that's what we're doing here. That's the first talk I gave here at Rama in 2013 was that we've created a temperate environment for you to walk through a wormhole of your own and leave behind your disbelief and leave behind your we'll call it forgetfulness and be able to catch up with yourself in what is actually real of you instead of all this stuff that is not real. But these are how we're, and I know this is your work around the planet, is creating these portals that people can move through.
In the grid lines, latitude and longitude. So in this new space and time, in 2020 and beyond, we all know latitude is long, side to side, and longitude up and down. In this new age, we grab that. Timekeepers and geomancy keepers, geomancy timekeepers, like ourselves and like yourselves, we grab the latitude and longitude and we spin it on its axis. And now we remember how to do instant manifestation in 3D, 4D, and 5D. Because if we can come and bring our mind, our pineal gland to the axis of the latitude and longitude in any space in the universe, we can project that thought, the manifestation station. It's the power of creation, to bring that thoughts into form. That's actually a line that I learned not too long ago from songwriters from actually here in Santa Barbara in California. So the manifestation station that we're talking about, this is what we can do. We have some examples that we can do. Like, I know my brother here is thinking about maybe he's going to execute what needs to be done to form that civilian space ground cruise. Am I right? Yeah. So this is the type of thing. You know how I know? Because I've been to the future. And so have you. Yeah. And so have all of you. You just don't remember. So our little puny duty, as you said, showing by example that we can, in fact, eat anything we want and transform that before it goes into your mouth. It's pure energy. It's pure magic. This is the type of stuff that we can do from now on, if we choose to, because I can sit here My sister, you can be for the next 80 years telling you how awesome you are, but until we observe it, doesn't matter. You know, we can say lots of good things about you. In fact, we have a list here, 488 things that we see through you. This is how we see you. Yes, we know all the shit that we got through. Yes, we know all the darkness we have, but we still choose to hold you in a good vision because we know that it's gonna get better. You know, it's gonna get better because we choose to. And following the earlier class with you, it's like the bitch across the desk.
Jose, I saw your notes. Some things I like the bitch.
It's such a brilliant way to see it, you know, because if you can learn to love that, what you hate, you are never going to become that. And that's some of the biggest issues in humanity is you become what you hate, you know? So by avoiding that, by seeing you like, I don't have my glasses on, but I can see. I'll tell you some of the things how I can see you is I see you as a powerful being who can manifest in 5D. Right now, all your thoughts are going to be manifested because you are in the presence in this global conscious of masters from many different lineages who are listening to us. And those masters, spiritual masters who are here right now, are going to say, oh shit, look at these guys. They're showing unity. They're showing balance, female and male. They're showing the knowledge that is just information that we can give, and then it's up to you to make it wisdom. Mm-hmm. This is just information. It works for me. I know it works for you. Mm-hmm. You know, finding the cute husband. Guess what? What? I found the cutest woman in the universe for me too.
You did. Where is she?
She's right there. Smiling. She's smiling.
Is Zoe here?
Yeah, she's speaking.
Okay, there she is.
So it's that simple, and we want to share. We want all of us to be in that mode where we can do anything we want with the freedom we want for the highest good of all and for the purity of all. This is the information we have here. Both of us individually, but I just love the fact that in this date of the star seed, according to the Mayan calendar, which is one of the other Geomancy time tools that we use, today is this day of the star seed, so we have this galactic council listening to our conversation. It's pure magic right now, so if you can please just send your purest, most magical manifestation station thoughts into the universe. It's going to happen, and I hope that someone is listening to this.
Do you want to explain what you were kind of telling me in the way of looking into the double-sided mirror of time and space and that reflection and how?
Yeah. Yes. Before I forget, geomancy of time. Yes. That's what you called it.
Yes.
Okay. This is the new term. From here then on, this is the geomancy of time. There is no more timekeepers because that's a given. We're all timekeepers. Thanks to you bringing that from the universe, we are the geomancy of timekeepers. It's a whole new galactic term that, thanks to you, it will be used for the next 26,000 years. And if you don't believe me, then meet me in 2199. We'll talk about it. So one of the words we hate or we love, depending what side you're in or you're on, is love. Who can use a little more love? How about a little more gratitude? Okay, just grab it. Grab it and put it in your heart. Shower yourself with it. But how can you feel love when you have that bitch across the desk. You actually can, and it's better the faster you do it, the better, because not only you become a better human, as you said earlier, and please forgive me if I'm putting words in your mouth because I don't like that. We can love that what we hate. And by doing that, we have a list of things of how we do it. What works for me is, and what works for the elders where I come from, is I see into your eyes and I see 488 virtues. You know, all of you. This is how I see you. And you have two eyes, and in those eyes I see myself. So now I have 488 virtues times 2 coming to me. So the more love you give, the more love you get. It's that simple. And that, I really thought it was appropriate, because how about we manifest love for all the beings in the universe today? And we can manifest and we utilize the portal that, you guys have a portal right here in this very space that you're sitting. It's a direct path to the universe through many sacred sites. So if you can just open your heart and your mind and your spirit to actually utilize that technology that you have been gifted by these masters, you know, Tej, Harajiwin, you, and the rest who I have come across, every one of you, you know, we can just tap into the global consciousness of what we bring together, showing unity, we're going to be okay. See love in everybody, in their eyes, and you're getting love twice. See certainty in your eyes. Have no doubts that what you know is actually the right thing to do. Everything you do is the right thing to do for your evolution. And as you evolve in love, the rest of the planet and the rest of the galaxy is evolving in love. I feel that that's something very useful, and I invite you all to take that piece of information and run with it. You know?
Because it creates, this is in the Yogi Bhajan teachings, I mean, the return on investment of looking into somebody's eyes and seeing the reality that infuses their consciousness beyond kind of some of the rest of the behaviors and stuff. This is a good investment. You're getting exponential returns. So this is pragmatic, a very pragmatic kind of thing. And if you really start to kind of, and we're working on this, and we worked on this, all the whole practice, all these technologies of this age are about rewiring the optic nerve in the pineal gland so that you actually can see these things more clear than you can see people's, you know, bad behavior or obnoxiousness, or, you know, all that's just, you know, kind of it falls away literally because you've trained the pineal gland to be only kind of optimized for certain frequencies. So the rest of that just kind of, so I mean, that's just training your sight in the right way. These are shamanic practices.
So these mirrors that we all have to enhance everybody else, because that's really one of the goals in the universe, the why we keep coming back to this planet, is because this is the only realm where we actually feel love. That's why you sign up again and again and again. And yes, you can go out to nirvana where nothing happens if you choose to, but I like the feel. I've been here myself 9 times. I'm scheduled to be until 13 times. And it's beautiful to bring that technology consciously to the next life. Because then I have collected all this information that I can share with my brothers and sisters who are willing to open their hearts and their minds to receive this information. So there's this way of seeing each other with virtues only. And eventually, it is scheduled for all of us to see nothing but virtues in each other. And I don't know how much time it's gonna take, it goes beyond my comprehension because there is so many species in the galaxy. I have no idea when I see linear time. Now, if I see circular time the way I was trained to do, then it's now. It's always the eternal present because this is all we have, this moment. So as we create the eternal future, let's create it in a state of balance, unity, joy, peace, and galactic harmony.
We're scheduled to do so, everyone. Don't miss the appointment.
Don't miss the appointment.
That's rude. But I just love hanging with you because this language is very deprogramming. Do you feel how it deprograms you? Yeah, it's very deprogramming. So it's very important to, any revolution has to, and it's not just the words that Jose is picking, but or that are coming through. It's also the arrangement of a new organization. It's a geomancy unto itself, and that's what creating these new lexicons are. Why this is so important, because we have to these new kind of frequencies and how the communication, which will become more and more sensitive, because all of this, we're transmitting to each other. There's a high transmission of kind of this is a whole fiber optics. Fiber optics were just a kind of very archaic way of showing that the communication can go, that can be transmitted through the crystals. And then the pineal gland, the whole consciousness is a crystal. So then the thing, we're all doing that right now. And whoever's out there, whenever you listen to this through time and space, the transmission is now. And that's the whole kind of, and that's happening. But this will be more and more now as we go into this new era, especially as we hit this winter solstice next week.
Yes, we're going to explain a little bit in a more longer, more 3D words. How to utilize this portal for the winter solstice.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
And also, the one question I have for you.
Yes.
And you, all of you, this is a question for Guru Jagat, who represents the masses of the new world. What are you doing for love? What are you giving in exchange for love?
I'll meditate on that. Well, it's as Tashi would say, I just hear Tashi saying, it's a two-way street. Tashi's favorite term. It's a two-way street, so it's a relay. It's a relay, Yeah.
Does anybody have an answer to that? Is that okay? We got a couple of minutes to get a couple of answers.
Let's use the microphone.
What are you doing in exchange for love? There she is. Oh, right there.
I always think of like Leonard Cohen, and he's just time. Time is you give your time because that's the only that's my most valuable thing that I have. So I'll just show up and give you my time.
So it's value that you're giving.
Yeah.
Not time. It's value. Because you are giving that label to time when time has no value actually. So I'm saying this for all of us. When we come down to a space where you don't have to give value and you just give love unconditionally, that's the goal. Where you don't expect anything in return and you literally do anything for that one or those ones or for the entire universe. You just do without expecting anything. Not only you're never going to be disappointed because you don't have any expectations. You will never get disappointed when you give unconditional love. And thank you for that reminder of, we put value to time when time is actually free.
Jose, in my tradition, I would, this is a tricky word, but I guess the only answer I have for you around this is, I'm doing of what my teachers tell me to do. So then, service or devotion would be another word that I use for what I give for whatever the exchange rate is, but I'm not giving it for anything except for the devotion to
it's service. So that's a whole other animal, because service is unconditional. This is why we all came here to give service. So the sooner we remember that we give unconditional love, there is so much abundant love in the universe that you're going to get exponentially more when you give it unconditionally, when you give service and devotion.
Yeah.
That is the absolute best possible answer in my humble opinion. Thank you.
Yeah. What else? Somebody else was going to say something over here.
I think she did.
Who was it? Who?
Fire.
This woman here.
I think it's when you love you're not loving so you can receive something back, but you're loving because it's your essence, it's purely everybody's essence. And when we get to awaken that state, there's no other question, there's no other way of being. But I don't know, it's hard on this plane to experience that kind of cosmic love that pretty much evades everything. It's just, there's no word for it. We just say love, but humans don't have, human language doesn't have the word or the meaning of what that essence is, the nature, the goddess, or the being and the creative essence of the whole universe that is within all things and within us, including a cent of grains have the same essence. So that is love. It's alive.
Beautiful. Do you have any take on that?
Well, I mean, we're working through, Yogi Bhajan was pretty hardcore about this in the human experience, that there is no such thing as unconditional love, because we're always trying to have a bigger experience of something, and that if you get that's actually the entryway to the unconditional love, but that you have to first, and I think that's the kind of crossroads in some way that we're at in.
Yeah, the crossroads, that's a very good point, because we are only in the 8th year of this next 26,000 years. We're finishing the 7th cycle, but we're entering into the 8th, and we're infants. And these technologies, there's so much more that we're going to discover the next 50 years very, very fast. And so with that, I feel that in this very room, and anyone who's watching, if you listen to all the words by default, I feel that we all are a different species of human. If you're here and you're receiving this information with your heart, that tells me that we are in not just in a portal, but this portal is filled with time travelers, galactic travelers, who have been many eons of time, if you want to call that time, learning and remembering. And then now we're all together here to be of service to humanity, be of devotion to humanity in whatever discipline we come through do. And yes, he talked to me from a book not too long in Sedona. He said, Jose, it's time. I'm talking about our master.
Yeah.
And that was the day when I received the call when Guru Jagat said, come and make the dream catcher. So it's time for us to get united and put our size differences on the side and just be free, be ourselves. Don't do anything that you don't want to do.
No.
Don't do anything that you don't want to do. don't do anything that you don't want to do. Just strive for happiness. Be free.
Because that frequency of discord creates so much more discord than we understand. So it's either, if you have to do something that you don't want to do, the practice is you have to align yourself into the doing of it, so that there's ways, there's technology to do that, or you don't do it. But that's the responsibility of the geomancer of time, because you understand the consequences of the sequence of your discord.
Yeah, you basically can do instant holographic analysis of what's going to happen if you do and what's going to happen if you don't. You can practice that, and then everything you do is the absolute best thing that you can for yourself and others. So, instant holographic analysis for all of us.
Can we get some instant holographic analysis around here? I think this is, imperative on my desk by the end of the day. So do you want to give... Jose has made 8 steps to moving into the 2020 portal for you. I love this. This is so cute. It's a picture of me and him, too. But do you want to break, anything here that's pragmatic that we want to share?
Well, what we can do in this portal that Guru Jagat has created for the rest of us, we can come and sit here and be laughing and just be epic humans. We can bring the thoughts into form, bring our dreams into 3D reality, brings community together, bring the spiritual world, the dream world, and the 3D world into one. This space helps us remember to manifest consciously. This space takes our thoughts and prayers to the universe. This very space helps us connect with our higher self. This space, this portal, is a memory trigger to the ancient future. Does anyone have an argument with that?
Yeah.
It really
We want to
does.
see if anybody wants to argue with us about that. Will you read this again? This is really powerful. My whole pineal gland starts secreting. Will you read that one more time for us?
Absolutely.
One more time.
Yeah, this space really brings the thoughts into form. It really does. It brings our dreams into 3D reality, or whatever reality we are living in. It brings community together. This space does. If you think of all the lineages that are here, every corner of the universe is represented in this very room right now. Brings the spiritual world, the dream world, and the 3D world into one. And that's really true, because I've been meditating on that side, and I just travel to the spiritual world. And sometimes I actually go into the dream world to bring those answers that you guys just support us with your massive energy.
Well, Zoe's been coming in and out of the room all morning. There's something about this diagonal that people will they'll disappear physically from the room. Or they just can't, I can't see them behind the thing. But it doesn't matter, because I'm creating my own reality.
That's it. So it helps us remember to manifest consciously. And that's one of the key things in the universe when we manifest consciously. If you can do just a quick actual example of what the technology we have right now, the 3D printing. You can think it that way.
Yes.
So pretty soon we're going to be able to 4D printing, 5D printing. How do you think the pyramids were built?
I just, I don't want to face those printer jams, Jose. Really, I'm not looking forward to that. When it's out of paper or whatever it's going to be. I'm scared. No printer's ever worked at any Rama portal. The printer's always jammed. So, we have to work this out in the 5D.
Just have to talk to the architects.
Can you work that? Can you help me out with that?
Totally.
Staples, $20.99. We're in council.
Yeah. Very connected.
No more inkjet.
This space that you have co-created with the ancient ones, it takes our thoughts and prayers to the universe. It does. I asked for a new car not too long ago.
What'd you say?
I asked for a new car not too long ago while I was here.
Yeah, yeah.
And I actually said, before December 1st, I'm going to have a new car. It just happens. While you do it with conscious intention from a sacred space, with the help of all your human peers, because everyone here has just massive divine purity, manifesting power, all of us, all of you. So with your help, thank you guys for helping me get a new car.
Well, Jose, you got me a new car too, because I just got a new car on Thanksgiving weekend. For you a new car, me a new car, you a new car.
You a new car.
I'm serious. I wasn't expecting it, and I got this new car. It's big too.
What day did you get it?
November. What day was that? Because we slipped out, and I would pretended like we were going to be gone for 40 minutes, and then we were gone for like hours, supposedly. What day was that? That was November 30th. November 30th.
November 29th.
Yeah, or maybe November 29th. It was a Saturday.
Oh, it was Friday, so that
Yeah,
was
Friday.
November 28th for us.
Okay, then I got a 29th. I got a 29th. Okay. You get a new car. If you're listening to this right now, you get a new car. Thanks, Jose. You know, it was
So generous of you.
so nice of you. Kaylee got a new car.
This sacred space actually helps us connect with our higher self. You know, the mind, the body, the spirit, the soul. And then the subtle bodies. How many bodies can you actually have? This space, you can go beyond the teachings and get higher, and your aura feels, as we call it. Right?
Yeah.
And last is a memory trigger to the ancient future.
Memory trigger to the ancient future.
This space, you can see what's going to happen. The best thing about it is if you don't like seeing what's going to happen, you can change it now with your thought.
Yes.
So if there was going to be something that people still call negative, just remove it from your future.
Yes.
It's that simple. It really is that simple. And I want to thank you very much for the opportunity to help us remember together, because you said it earlier, it's that simple. It might seem complicated, but it's not. Just accept it, please. It's that simple.
Thank you so much, Jose. Thank you for being here and everything that you are and have been and continue to be and will be.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How do we get in touch with you so people you can build these, you can have Jose come and build a portal, and this is part of what he's doing, so you can, but also, I mean, I know you're busy, so I don't know how much you can do this, but I know that some of this is happening. And how do people get in touch with you?
You can call me directly.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
A landline here.
It's a landline.
No, it's not a landline.
I have a little satellite battery in my back, so you can reach me anytime. It's 562-393-2870.
And that's country code +1.
And Zoe is here all the time. Talk to Zoe.
Yeah, exactly. That's Zoe's number. Sorry, Zoe. Zoe's like, are you kidding me? And okay, well, in the future, don't blame me for how many people call you. Because in the past, I already said sorry, all right?
I'm going to follow your example, but just like when Harry Jewin calls you and you just decide whether or not to
Yeah,
answer.
exactly. What is that called again? What's our last one? That's a memory trigger to the ancient future. You either are going to be denied or accepted.
In the future, there's multiple of us, and we can holographic teleport to anywhere in wherever you are. So yeah, just trust, if you will, and text or call, and I will get back to you.
And therefore, you don't have to be overwhelmed. Just send another one of you over there and just deal with it. I mean, but I'm serious. There's a story of, and we'll end here, but there's many stories of the great yogis, and I mean, they're in multiple places at once. And Yogi Bhajan, there's a story of him at the Golden Temple, and it was the only morning he didn't get up and show up at like 1 o'clock in the morning to clean the floors. And when he did arrive there around 7 a.m., he apologized to his team, and they were like, "What are you talking about? You're with us the whole time." Mm-hmm. But that's just common. That's just a common. That's not. It's a mystical story, but it's not. And this will be true for all of you.
Pretty soon it will be the norm for everyone. Yes. Yeah. Just as of right now, all of us have at least 15 different personalities. So don't think you're bipolar or multiple disorder. It's just the way it is. And the more you embrace it, utilize those 15 personalities, because each one of them have different virtues, and you can pack them all together into the eternal present and do the best you can with 15 of you thinking at the same time instead of just one.
Yeah. Thank you, Jose.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Reality Riffing. These are conversations that I think are important with people who are doing great things in the world about subject matters that need to be discussed. If you enjoyed the content, the conversation, please feel free to share with your people, share with your friends and family, rate the podcast below, and also subscribe.